So hello guys, it's Flipping Markets here, and I will do the breakdown video of today's trade and answer all of your questions. So let's just begin on the 15-minute structure. So as you can see on the 15-minute, this was the 4-hour supply gap, and after that the liquidity sweep of the 4-hour liquidity. We talked about this many times in yesterday's breakdown video, and yeah. After the sweep of the 4-hour liquidity, price created huge inefficient move to the downside and tapped into 15-minute demand zone. After the tap of the demand zone, price started to slowly levitate back to some sort of supply, which was this supply right here, the 15-minute supply zone that changed character on several places, as you can see, with a huge improved movement to the downside. Okay, after the levitation back up to this supply zone, price barely tapped this zone. And just change character before it tapped the zone. So this was a confirmation because it doesn't really have to tap this zone to reverse the price. Of course, it can collect more orders from this zone, but if it changes character on the 5-minute, on 15-minute, so as you can see, this change character here and here, then you can expect some reverse point on the freshly created supply zone. So actually, this was the 15-minute wick, which is too big to be a supply zone, so I refined it on the 5-minute. As you can see, this was the refinement here. So yeah, let's talk about the structure again, because you asked that why didn't I wait for the tap of this 15-minute POI, and why did I react on this POI? The reason behind this is because, as I always say, react and don't predict, right? If price changes character on the 15-minute and the 5-minute also, and after the change of character, it confirms the change of character and changes character again with the confirmation entry, then why wouldn't you enter? I always say, react and don't predict. Higher time frame change of character, liquidity sweep. Smaller time frame liquidity sweep and change of character. So that's the perfect entry, right? Double confirmation. Okay, but let's see the 1-minute structure actually, because I will answer the questions later. First, I will break down the trade. So this was the 5-minute supply tap that changed character. So here, and after the tap of this zone, price created liquidity. That's the reason I didn't enter, because as you can see, this tap is just a second tap of the liquidity here. So this is equal taps, and it's not the case that happened yesterday on the 1-minute chart, which was this one. So these triple tops, it's not the same case, because as you can see, these tops are really, really far away from each other. So this confirms that this is a strong liquidity, because a lot of sellers enter the market here and a lot of sellers enter the market here. And all of these early sellers swept out with this movement. So all of their stop losses were collected. So that's the reason I didn't count this movement as a change of character, because I knew that the double taps will be swept, and that's exactly what happened. And as I always say, for my entry criteria, it has to sweep liquidity, and this movement didn't sweep any liquidity. This upside movement didn't sweep any liquidity. The second criteria is to change character for several demand zones. So this movement swept only this small demand zone and tapped into this one. This movement changed character here, here, and here. It swept 3 demand zones. It's stronger than this one. So yeah, and the third criteria is it has to change character or break the structure, right? So yeah, I just explained why didn't I enter here. And now let's see this movement. So after the double taps have been swept with this candle, these candles, price started to change character, and the last demand zone was here. This was the last extreme demand zone that caused the break of structure. This small candle is just a small step into the market, and the real momentum for this change of character came here to the market, right? As you can see, here's the inefficiency. Here's the inefficiency that changed character here and here. This right here wasn't the real candle. This is the extreme zone, and this did nothing. This upper zone is already mitigated by this candle. So the real push came into the market with this candle. So yeah, that's why I was setting the order limit on this 50% of this candle, because it's swept liquidity on the downside also. As you can see, real triple bottoms, it's swept that liquidity. Before the change of character, it's swept the liquidity on the upside, the double tops. So yeah, that was the idea behind this trade. And now let's see the questions. The first question is, when is necessary to take a trade and when not? I just explained it because you have to wait for your criteria. For this trade, my criteria wasn't fit. It didn't sweep liquidity nowhere. It didn't change character as I wrote it down in the PDF, because I wrote it down in the PDF that change of character is most effective when it changes character on several demand zones. And this movement just changed character here. So yeah, always wait for your criteria. Write down your criteria and check mark them. If all fits, pull the trigger. That's all. Let's see the next question. On your latest trade, why didn't you consider the change of character, the first change of character? Yeah, I just explained it. Why didn't I consider this change of character? Let's see the